It's fair to say that the quintessential INFJ is known for their pickiness when it comes to finding a suitable romantic partner. This pickiness, combined with their genuine loyalty, means that when they're with someone exclusively, it's nearly impossible for them to even consider the idea of falling for someone else. And yet, it still happens in the odd instance. So, what's behind INFJ infidelity? Welcome back, psychos. Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it. Starting with number 1. They were cheated on by that partner. Now, let's start off by saying the INFJ personality type isn't always one to seek revenge on others, especially when it comes to their romantic connections and loved ones. For the most part, they usually understand where people are coming from and can rationalize what drove them to do what they've done. However, despite putting others' destinies in karma's hands, it's not to say that the INFJ doesn't get hurt in the process. In fact, when it comes to being the victim of infidelity, just like most people, it can take a major toll on this personality type. And while over time they may just be able to forgive and grow with their partner, they're never able to forget the imprint it left on their perception of that person. They will withdraw, and even when they eventually let that person back in fully, the connection is never the same as it once was. Unfortunately, this is where the INFJ can grow weak in terms of the possibility of experiencing their own form of infidelity. This forever imprint makes it so that if the opportunity should present itself, the INFJ may not be as disinterested as they normally are. Which brings us to our next point. Number 2. Through mental rationalization. Cheating doesn't come lightheartedly for the INFJ. In fact, while some types are able to walk away from a major mistake such as being unfaithful without much consideration, the INFJ's guilty conscience will eat them alive for years on end. For this reason, most INFJs claim that the thought of stepping outside of their relationship, whether it be emotionally or physically, would feel too unbearable to even consider. Yet, sometimes the analytical INFJ mind takes over and can even convince them they deserve to be wanted in the way they long for. While they would never go and search for the opportunity, it's when the opportunity presents itself that the INFJ's rationalizing mind begins working in overdrive. This is when all the things the INFJ once forgave their partner for now become questionable, including all the areas they lack giving the INFJ what they think they deserve. They begin to convince themselves that it's possible their partner isn't the one, and may even begin emotionally distancing themselves due to this simple conclusion. It can be a scary place for the INFJ empath, who simultaneously calculates just how much it would hurt their partner. Number 3. Finally feeling understood. Speaking of rationalization in terms of all the ways their partner falls short within the connection, there's something about the INFJ feeling misunderstood that can drive them to seek that understanding. Realistically, it's a lifelong battle for the peculiar INFJ to find people who truly get them. With the mix of complexities and the patience required for the INFJ to reveal their true selves, it takes a very specific type of person and circumstance for this type to genuinely feel recognized and appreciated for who they are. In fact, with this lifelong challenge being so apparent for the INFJ and their ability to connect with others, sometimes they can end up putting aside the requirement to feel understood in order to move deeper into a romantic connection with someone. With hopes that this understanding will come about eventually, the INFJ essentially settles for something that doesn't resonate with them fully. In these instances, should someone come along with the ability to resonate with the INFJ on the level that they've always longed for, emotional infidelity may develop, which ultimately causes the INFJ to dig themselves into a hole they can't get out of. Number 4. They feel trapped and unable to leave a connection. Speaking of self-sabotage, the conflict-avoidant habits of the INFJ tend to be the underlying common denominator in most of their romantic and platonic challenges. Through their extreme empathy and their hesitancy to cause any sort of discord within their connections, INFJs are known to put off setting the necessary boundaries that are meant to keep certain toxic people away from accessing their energy. And while this tactic makes the relationship seem seamless and effortless in the beginning stages, the INFJ ends up carrying an unbearable weight on their shoulders once the connection becomes more serious. In the best case scenario, this personality type can take the steps to remove themselves from a toxic person's energy and move on to someone more fitting. Yet, in the worst case scenario, their toxic partner makes leaving nearly impossible. Whether it's through some form of emotional manipulation, physical threats of harm, gaslighting, pleading, or false convincing, when the INFJ feels trapped, they may eventually feel compelled to search elsewhere while still having one foot in the door. Despite it not being the most effective or morally right strategy, sometimes they need an external connection to pull them away for good. Number 5. They've been emotionally disconnected for some time. An emotionally unfulfilled INFJ is an unhealthy INFJ, and an unhealthy INFJ is known to do things that are considerably out of character. INFJs require the necessary communication, quality time, and levels of physical intimacy for the romantic connection to make it. While some people can turn a blind eye to some of these emotionally fulfilling components with their partner, INFJs hold high expectations of what a romantic connection should look and feel like. Despite trying their best to hold out for a specific partner to meet these expectations, or trying to rekindle the love they once had, once an INFJ becomes increasingly emotionally disconnected, they become more vulnerable to external emotional offerings. In fact, emotional infidelity is the most common type of cheating amongst INFJs due to the simple fact that this is the type of love they crave amongst all else. Which brings us to number 6. They fell into emotional cheating without realizing it. They say love and stupidity are two sides of the same coin. For the INFJ, who's experienced personal emotional infidelity, that's certainly the case. Like we've mentioned previously, despite their introversion, every INFJ longs for an emotional bond that allows them to be their most authentic selves. And so when this personality type finds someone who they actually enjoy spending time with, it can be difficult for them to not want to grow the connection into something further. While it's not always a particularly romantic destination they initially have in mind, on the rare occasion they can end up finding themselves in a deeper bond than they expected. The unfortunate aspect of it all comes when this worthy individual has different intentions. When the INFJ becomes vulnerable with someone else while in a relationship, it can be difficult for them to decipher how far is too far. This confusion can make it challenging to know when or if they've crossed the line from friendship to emotional infidelity, and just how the other person is perceiving their vulnerability on the other end. And lastly, number 7. Their vivid imagination triggers their guilty conscience. In the end, it's extremely rare for the INFJ to find themselves in these type of sticky situations. When the INFJ is in the right mind, without the influence of past traumas, toxic partners, and delusional rationalizations, even the simple thought of cheating is enough to scare the INFJ back to reality. In fact, while some may not consider it infidelity in technical terms, the INFJ's imaginative ideas can be enough to cause their guilty conscience to shame them into serious discomfort. Self-critical by nature, the INFJ can begin questioning themselves and their faithfulness within their connection far before ever considering any of their imaginative thoughts. It's within this guilt that the INFJ can actually end up shutting down within their connection temporarily to try and understand themselves and what they're subconsciously missing that's leading them to these type of thoughts. For the less balanced INFJ, these thoughts do have the potential to lead to something more, especially if they're caught in an introverted thinking, intuitive loop that hazes their judgments and drives them to be rather impulsive. Well, psychos, that's it for today. So, let us know in the comments below if you've ever regrettably cheated as an INFJ. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.